Do you know when you're growing up and you're supposed to be out there scuffing your knees and doing all that stuff?
Mm.
I stayed in and drew.
Drew.
Yeah,
Oh, so you were
sit down and just draw.
you were an
all
artist
day.
first, then before
Yeah,
music.
yeah. So I just draw all the time. Don't know if it was particularly any good, but and then when I was about 12, just after my dad died,
Yeah.
my brother got me into play guitar, which was just great. It was lovely, and then like you do, you just dive into that and put everything into that. All the emotions come through it and everything. So
Were you writing songs back then? Were you putting your
I started playing guitar about 12,
Yeah.
and then I got to about maybe 16. I was writing songs. Started writing, yeah.
and what type of songs were they? Were they like
That's good.
angsty teenage songs?
No, it was love songs, of course.
Love songs?
Love.
Heartbreak or just...
Oh yeah, some heartbreak, of course. Yeah, yeah. I used to do quite weird poetry as well. Remember the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? So I used to call it Vogon poetry. So that'd be quite just
Can you remember any of it now?
hell no, hell no. It was just made up words, wasn't it? It's
Yeah.
like in the end, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when they end up on the Vogon constructor fleet ship, and the Vogon captain decides to read them some poetry. And it's all oh flurgy blurge, your snarls or all this. It was just stupidity.
Yeah.
It was just stupid. So I did that, and I wrote proper poetry as well. I lie asleep, the night stalled, frozen by light. In this land, I'm king. I'm king. Words like swords pierce me. Inside this altar world, I lie asleep. So yeah.
Nice.
And he's just come to you.
Yeah, I love sleeping. It's one of my favourite things at the moment. Probably top of my list. Sleeping, reading, playing guitar. I have these crazy dreams. I just love it. I go to bed at night going, I can't wait. What's going to happen tonight? It's better than TV. And I just have these really weird dreams. I don't know where it comes from. So that's one of my favourite things.
Do you write your dreams down when you go to bed?
No, but I think you can get inspiration from them, like that one. That, in this land I am king. Because you are in your dreams, aren't you? 'Cause to an extent you control it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And sometimes it'll turn into a song, I suppose.
Did your brother give you a guitar, or where was your first guitar?
What happened was he got me this tiny little guitar, and I sort of learned, and then I outgrew it, and then I asked him if I could have his guitar.
And what was that?
Which was a bit better. It was a bit bigger and a
What
bit
guitar
better.
was it, do you know?
I can't remember. It wasn't anything great.
Just like a
It was a
cheap
little,
one.
but it was metal string.
Okay.
My first guitar was metal string.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was a K-Pop,
K-pop.
Chinese. Yeah, I remember that. And then his was a bit better. So I said, can I have yours? And he said, no, I'll swap you. So he swapped me for my copy of Abbey Road. That's a fair exchange.
Do you think it's still going?
Well, the guitar or the Abbey Road?
The Abbey Road.
No, that's it. I don't know. But yeah, and he used to play me loads of interesting music, so he got me into sort of a lot of my music. A lot of my musical tastes come from my brother.
Like such as well.
Like old fashioned proper rock, like Zeppelin,
Oh, okay.
Deep Purple, Hendrix,
Mhm.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stuff that I grew up with is kind of the bluesy kind of, that sort of area.
American type blues.
Yeah, that sort of 70s, late 60s, 70s blues rock, that sort of stuff.
And do you think that that's kind of influenced your music that you've written as well, like throughout the years?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because you're playing slide guitar and stuff as well. It's like you've got that blues type thing coming through and ragtime.
Yeah, one of the first songs that really struck me was Statesboro Blues by Taj Mahal.
Okay.
And I just loved it. And it was Ry Cooder playing slide on it.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, wow, this is just great. So I learned tunings when I was about 8. 17, 18
Yeah.
when I learned about guitar tunings. So, didn't really know what to do
So
with that.
I've never really ventured outside of
That's standard.
standard.
Yeah.
Done a little bit of open. I guess it'd be
Or drop D. Or
yeah,
something.
drop D. Since I've been playing the banjo, I've kind of gone into double C and stuff like that, and you can kind of get a different feel.
Mm.
So, like, what would you say your favourite is?
I love it. Open D.
Open D.
Open D, open G. I think open D is such a nice standard, isn't it? That one's in standard. So this one's in open D. I'll just put it in earlier so we don't faff about. I just think that's such a lovely tone.
Definitely. And a lovely guitar as well. Keep
It's not bad.
ringing out.
Not a bad guitar. Yeah.
Can you can show us a little bit of noodling if you want.
So what you do with any open tuning is you're playing. That's the chord of D. Open. So you're basically playing on top of that chord.
Sure.
So you can noodle on top of it. I was saying to you earlier, I think there's a relationship between like tunings like that and the chakras.
Yeah, I can definitely.
It just feels different.
It does. It goes kind of straight for your heart. That type of.
Yeah.
Straight for your soul.
And then you get like an open G will feel different again, which will be. Feels different again.
Definitely, yeah. But still beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that fullness. Yeah.
And it kind of opens music up in a different way, doesn't it?
How did you discover the open tunings?
I think I was reading. I think it was a New Musical Express. And it was talking about this thing about tunes because you used to have a bit in the middle where they talk about guitar techniques, and it mentioned Paul McCartney doing Blackbird in open G, and then it showed you the tuning. I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. You know, all that stuff. So I thought I'd have a go. But the one I prefer is the T.
How else would you say that you deal with creativity blocks in your music and other creative platforms?
I mean, the advice I give anyone playing guitar and trying to do different things is just noodle, just start doing something and see what happens. You know, even if it's wrong, even if it's a discord, even if it's a discord, and you're like, you know, this is going to be a discord, but there's something in there, and then you start start thinking, just start playing with it. I don't know.
Yeah, and you were talking about artwork earlier as well, and I think you were saying that you just leave things about. So I can see you have obviously your guitars around, and I think myself and Joe can kind of relate to that as well. There's always like an instrument about or something.
I think you know it's difficult to know when things are finished sometimes, like tunes, like songs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll write a song, you'll think it's done, and then you'll actually realise, actually, if I do that, that might be more interesting. Because so one of the songs I wrote ages ago was a country and western song.
Okay.
And I didn't really like it very much. I'd written it because these guys in Torquay, where I was living, had a country and western night. I didn't really do country and western, so I thought I'll write a country and western song. And it was your standard dum chicka dum chicka dum chicka dum chicka dum chicka dum chicka dum dum
Like a
dum
Johnny
dum
Cash,
dum chicka
yeah.
like that. And then years and years later, I had this tune, and I thought, oh, those lyrics will work better with that. So now it's in open D. So
What was that about?
The girl I used to know, with
Okay.
country and western words as
Yeah.
well, you know. Don't know why I love you so. Guess you are the girl I used to know.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was typical country and western. So yeah, the bits of art like this one's one in process, and I like cutting things out and using them as like blocks. And then I started thinking about, like, there was the fires in California, weren't there?
Yeah.
So I started thinking about that, and like these are the buildings and all the money and everything, and then there's the fire taking over. So I'll go back in with my paints and sort that one out in a bit. And then sometimes I'll stick things on and they won't stick properly, so I use super glue. I think I should have shares in super glue because I use so much of it, and end up losing all the ends of my fingers as well.
Could you hold that painting straight up to the camera if you don't mind?
Yeah, it's not ready yet. But
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Nice.
So the open tuning thing. So, well, you actually start with like drop D. This one's in standard. So. So a lot of people start with the first tuning is drop D, so it's extending that D, because normally that's an E, which doesn't work very well. So it sounds much nicer and more of a full sound. That's how most people start with tunes. And then the next natural one is the open D or G. And you'll answer the question rather than playing, won't you? So it takes quite a while to get these tunings into your head. If you start really thinking about it and really thinking about the notes, you go a bit mad. So you've got to just learn it really, so that you know when you're going. So it's D A D G flat A D, making up the D. The hardest bit's just remembering it, and then changing from that one to like an open D. What you'll totally see me do this a few times. I'll start out playing in standard tuning and then put it into drop D usually, and then go into open D, and then occasionally go into G. And I use my favourite saying is good enough for the blues, because it's always a little bit out, but it's fine. It's just nice, and it gives you more range as well. If you're just playing in standard tuning on your own, you've got less room to do the noodly bits, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing in a tune, open tuning, then you can put the little bits on top, which is nice.
And did you teach yourself all your finger style and
Oh
tunes?
yeah, I'm really crap at fingerstyle. I'm really rubbish. So you're supposed to have the thumb on these three, and then your fingers there like this. You see. But I'm really lazy, so I tend to use the thumb on the top four, and then those fingers on there. So I've got a strange finger style. But you know, it works. So, whatever works.
And you're totally self-taught, right? Did you have lessons or anything as a kid?
So I played guitar from 12 to 16, and then my mum got, I think, a bit fed up with me just noodling around and playing all sorts, so she sent me for some guitar lessons in Hull. And so I learned some songs that she liked, like Streets of London and Annie's Song and things like that. So she was happy then. And then I learnt a little bit of ragtime and a little bit of classical as well. So yeah, it just broadened it out a little bit. But in terms of chords and stuff, I didn't really learn a lot. It was pretty basic.
Yeah. I think last time I spoke to you, you had a picture lying about of your mum.
Mum? Oh, you like this one? You might need to close one of this. So this is last holiday actually with my dad. So I'd have been probably about 11, I think. Then we went on this holiday camp, this Scarborough holiday camp, and yeah, that's my old man, and my mum in her favourite frock that she always used to wear. And yeah, he died like the following year. So yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. So, did your dad ever see you play guitar then? Or was it just
No,
after?
because I started playing guitar after.
Mm.
Because yeah, I started playing when I was 12, so no, never saw me. And the funny thing about my dad, which I learned after he died, was that he was a really good piano player.
Oh, really?
He'd done all his grades. Didn't know.
Was there a piano at home?
No, we only had a little house. And we didn't have room. My granny offered the piano, and I really wanted it. But Mum said, "No, I ain't got your room." So I went to the pub on Holders Road, the Elephant and Castle. Got our piano.
So that piano probably was the one maybe your dad learned on.
Yeah. So it would have been really nice actually. So I probably would have been playing piano as well now.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it was funny. So I'll probably get the musical side from my dad, but then my mum's a wonderful singer. My mum's got a great voice.
So you've got your instrumental talent from your dad and your voice from your mum then?
Yeah, I think so.
So, go on.
Well, she's 94 now, 95 next month, and she still sings.
Yeah, I remember you said, what was the show you went to see with her?
We went to see Calamity Jane.
Oh, yeah.
So all the Doris Day songs. And she sang all the way through.
Oh.
That was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you going to see that.
That
Said
was
that
really
she loved
nice.
it, didn't she?
Yeah. But it's coming back this year, so I'm really hoping to get her there again because she enjoyed it so much last time. Yeah.
When you was in your early teens, did you get into bands or anything like that? Did you start writing songs alone or?
Yeah, I started on my own, and then I got into a couple of bands. Nothing too amazing. Just a bit of fun.
You recorded some stuff though, right? Or is that like on a cassette or something? Was it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, recorded some stuff on a cassette. Yeah. No, I was so I was in a couple of little bands in Hull. And then later on I think it was about 20. People being earlier than that, 18 or 20. No, about 20. I was asked if I'd join this local band that was just doing pubs. It was just doing covers, so I did that for a bit. And I moved away from Hull when I was 24. So.
And where was that to?
Well, I went to do photography. I went to Swansea to do photography for 2 years. Did that.
How did that go?
It was an interesting time. Learned a lot. Spent a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
On film mostly. So it was all 35mm.
Yeah.
And just tons and tons and tons of film went through. And
And what type of photography were you doing? Was it landscapes? Was it still life?
My favourite thing was like portraits, really.
Yeah.
You asked me if I've got any more portraits knocking them out in a minute, won't you?
That was
Might have to
going
dig
to be my
them
next
out.
question. Yeah.
I might have to dig some out, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see.
But yeah, yeah, you know, you can get these bulk loaders for film.
Yeah.
You stick like 20 metres of film in it, 30 metres of film in it, and then reel it off. And I don't know how much I went through. I went through thousands of pounds worth.
And what happened in terms of your course then? Was that
I passed it.
you passed it?
Yeah. Yeah, passed. And then I thought, oh yeah, I'll set up in business. I'll be great, and everything will be fantastic. But of course, all people wanted
Yeah.
was their weddings doing,
Sure. Yeah.
or pictures of their kids, which I hated both of those things. So I packed it in.
You did say that you did photography for bands, though. Is that correct?
Oh, that was in Hull, yeah, before I went to college.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Loads. Yeah, going back to being up to probably from about 20 to 23, 24, I did loads and loads of photography of bands or in and around Hull.
Did you do any that became famous or
I did some famous bands. Yeah.
such as?
Tony McPhee, Groundhogs,
Mm.
Undertones.
Nice.
Loads of punk bands. The Adverts. All sorts. Yeah, just used to go anywhere, and in the end, because I just used to walk in with a camera around me, and
Yeah.
they let me in for nothing.
It's fair enough.
So it's
isn't
great. Loads of free gigs.
it? Perfect. Yeah.
Did you get to know any of the bands or musicians on a personal level? Was there any green room situations?
Not really. I mean, I sold a load of photographs to them. So I used to go and see them afterwards, and I said, "I'll take a load of pictures. I'll send you a contact sheet, and if you like them, it's a quid each, quid a photograph. It's good money back then."
When was that? Sorry, like what year was that?
When I was 20, it would be 81, wouldn't it? I was born in 61, so 80 something. 80. Yeah.
Did you see any of those pictures later used in magazines or in fanzines or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. Not that I remember. I did a load of work for Whole Truck as well. I did photographs for some of their productions back in the day. So that was good fun. And they was in newspapers and that.
It's always nice to see something that you've
Yeah.
created, like
Yeah.
in a magazine or a newspaper or
Yeah,
something.
that was quite nice. So that was kind of prior to going to, so I probably had more success before I went to college
Yeah.
with photography. And then I sort of just gave up on it. I think I just got sick of it after trying to do it as like a business, because it just wasn't what I wanted. I was in Swansea, and then a lot of my friends was working at this drugs project in Swansea. So I started volunteering there. And that's kind of how I ended up in the next phase of life, which was as a drugs counsellor.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then from there I went to university. I was going to go to Cardiff, but then my then partner wanted to move to Devon. So I said, okay, I'll apply for Exeter and Plymouth. So I ended up at Plymouth Uni, did social work. And then I ended up in social work for donkey's years. But throughout, just played a little bit guitar at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of still do that type of thing now, don't you?
Mhm.
Counselling types things you've done recently, haven't you? And,
Yeah, I found what I really, really liked. This was in Devon. I really, really liked working with people that are homeless and the hostels. very, very interesting people, usually very, very creative and people, quite delicate people.
Because I've seen a lot, haven't they, as well? And
Yeah.
they're tough people, even though they're
They're tough,
delicate
but they're
inside.
fragile.
Yeah.
You know, it's contradictory. They're really interesting people, and I just love working with them. And it was a massive drop in salary to go from social work to working in the hostels. Absolutely massive. It was dropped about £10,000 a year.
Yeah. But would you say you're better off in terms of like mental health now? Like,
Oh yeah,
you can enjoy a job
yeah,
more. Yeah.
I mean, like today was stressful. I was at work today, and it was really stressful, but enjoyable at the same time.
Yeah. Is that something you can share? Like, what happened? Or...
So the people I work with are trying to come off. Most of them are trying to come off heroin.
Sure.
So the state provides methadone as an alternative. And the thing about that is, one, it's clean. Two, it's prescribed, so it doesn't cost them, so they don't have to find that money every day for the heroin. You know, and three, the good thing is if they're in treatment, somebody's alongside them to just check that they're okay along the way.
Mm.
So on Monday this week, I had a woman I'm working with saying that she wanted to change pharmacy, which is fairly straightforward. But then I couldn't get hold of her. So I can't do it without knowing where she wants a methadone to go to. So Tuesday, I only work 3 days a week. Dead lazy. Life-work balance. So Tuesday, then the duty team was trying to sort it out. And they messed up. They sent it to the wrong pharmacy. So then today, we was back onto it, trying to get it all sorted out, which we did. So it was a lot of running around and talking to different professionals and things, prescribers and that, but yeah, it got sorted.
And do you think that maybe like Hull especially, do they help, are they actively helping people such as homeless, or is it more that it's people like yourself, you know, normal people who are helping through hostels and stuff like that? Are Hull providing anything?
If I look at the difference between, I was at Southampton last weekend, and if I look at the difference between Southampton, Torquay, where I used to live, and here, it's fantastic here.
Oh,
it's really brilliant the way we work with homeless people here. Southampton, I only went for a week and I saw so many homeless people on the street, and I think the same with Torquay. It's terrible. So Hull's pretty good, to be fair. Got a lot of provision, and we also do a lot of work with migrants, and like for instance Polish and Romanian communities. We've got in our team, I think there's 3 Polish workers.
Okay.
Which is fantastic because there's a lot of Polish people around here.
Yeah, for translation and so they understand the culture, what they've come from and stuff like that.
Yeah. So obviously there's a big gap in the, you know, if you're trying to communicate with somebody that's got a drug or an alcohol problem, and then we've got a language barrier as well. It's much harder. So yeah, the work that the guys do there is amazing.
Yeah.
No, we're good here. We're really good. No.
Do you get to know a lot of the people on quite a personal basis and befriend them in ways?
To an extent, you've got to keep that barrier, you know? You have to keep the barrier. But yeah, I mean, I've got, so in my work, I work at one of the local hostels. And when I go in, it'll be, all right, mate, how you doing? You know, yeah, people are friendly, you know. People are friendly to me, and I think it's about being honest. Well, I know it is. You've got to be honest with people, because especially people who are streetwise, if you're not honest, they'll see straight through you.
Of course, yeah.
Because you've got to have that nous being on the street.
Mm.
You know, you imagine sleeping in a doorway, a shop doorway, freezing cold, constantly worried that somebody's going to come and kick the hell out of you, or worse, people have been set alight
Yeah.
in doorways. That's fact. I've heard of that here and in Devon.
Oh.
It's people are inhumane, so you've got to have a lot of that extra sense about you.
Compassion, but you also have to be streetwise. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Are there a lot of good outreach services in Hull, like soup kitchens and
Yeah,
things
loads.
like that?
There's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Really good in Hull. Yeah, I'm quite proud of what we do here. I mean, from leaving Hull when I was 24 to coming back 4 years ago, hence the not the proper Hull accent. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of the city now. I left the Hull site, I was done with it. But I love it now.
And there's quite like a thriving artist community in Hull, especially down
massive.
Humber Street and the fruit market area and things like that.
Definitely,
Yeah, and the street art, I absolutely love the street art.
Mhm.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, on like
Bankside.
on the sides of
That's
the
so
houses
good.
and stuff. Yeah.
No, but down Bankside as well.
All
off
the
the
graffiti.
river.
Yeah.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Have you seen they're going to be doing those new installations of, I think it's big rats, you know,
Oh,
these
yeah,
type
yeah.
of frogs and the
Yeah,
butterflies and everything.
Ah, nice.
We're on the rats now. Yeah.
You were talking about you did something on what was it? It was in the hostels. You took some donated guitars or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me put this one down. Excuse me. So, one of our mutual friends, Dave, has started volunteering for Renew, and he's a really good singer and guitarist, very talented guy, and so he wanted to do some stuff at the hostel. So I said, yeah, great, okay, well maybe a way in is go in with a guitar, because that's kind of nice. That's
Yeah.
because you sat playing guitar, people like that. I'll pop round the corner and start chatting. So I put the word out and asked if anybody had any old guitars, and I ended up getting 3.
Mm.
One was okay, one was just about playable. 2 I did quite a bit of work on. But yeah, so we took 2 into a hostel, and he was teaching. And then one guy picked up really quickly. So I took the 3rd one in, which wasn't amazing, but good enough. And I said, listen, just have this one. So that was really nice. And then what happened after that was the following week, one of the workers there came in with a ukulele, which we all loved, don't we, Tony?
Yeah.
We all love a ukulele. And I said, oh, Dave, can you teach me a bit of ukulele? And Dave's like, yeah, okay. All right, can do it. So he started teaching ukulele. Then 2 of the other women that are actually living there, residents of the hostel, ended up having, they had ukuleles. So now Dave is teaching ukulele, which he's delighted with. So the first song he taught them was Que Sera. So and they're going to call, I said they should call themselves Uke Can, because you can play the ukulele. But they've decided to call their little group the Ukuladies.
Okay. That's pretty
Which
good.
is also good.
And do you think it must be cathartic for the people to be learning the guitar and playing around with these instruments and something to...
Brilliant, yeah. So I prior to working for the drugs team, I worked at the hostel. And one of the first things I asked for was a karaoke machine. Because people love a bit of karaoke. And the boss said, why do you want a karaoke machine? I said, just because people love it. You wait and see. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So we actually wore out a karaoke machine. So it's buy another one. And they still do karaoke Friday. I absolutely love it.
And
Right.
if the community wanted to help out, where would, is there a website or something people could check out?
Yeah. So the hostel I work with is run by Humber Care. So if you look up Humber Care,
And people could help and donate things. And...
yeah, Westbourne, yeah,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. We talked about this before, didn't we, Tony? And Tony was saying, what would you want? If you could have something, and I was like, I don't need anything. I'm all right.
You were really just saying
I don't need it.
you'd like to just
I've got a
donate
couple of nice
something.
guitars, I'm
Yeah.
all right.
That's generous. Are you quite a minimalist in that aspect, but you eclectic and like things?
Yeah. I mean, I was again talking to Dave the other day, saying to him, "Oh, I've seen a nice guitar." I said, "I want to check it out with you. You're the voice of reason." And he said, "You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You don't need it." I said, I know, but it is really nice." "Yeah, but you don't need it," and he's right. So now I've got a couple of nice guitars. I'm all right. I've got my music. I've got enough paint materials for a number of years. I don't watch TV. I watch DVDs. What else do I need?
And then these guitars you've landed on, have you bought and traded and sold throughout the years and had electrics and acoustics and everything?
Forever.
Are there any that you regret letting go of or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there was one. It was now let me think. I would have been in my 20s, 18 or 20, and I had a lovely old Yamaha electric guitar, Yamaha SG30.
Okay.
Now most Yamahas, when you talk about that series, they say SG1000, SG2000. These are the classic Yamahas that people like Santana used to play. And I had an SG30, which was a very early one, and they're worth quite a bit of money now. Anyway, I decided to do a little swap with a friend of mine for a synthesizer, because I thought it'd be cool. So we did this swap, and I thought, it's rubbish. So I got in touch with him. I said, "Nah, done. Can we swap it back?" And he said, "Well, you can do." But he said, I got annoyed with it, so I smashed it against the wall. Okay. So, yeah, that was a bit of a shame.
Did you smash the synthesizer up in
not.
response?
No, of course not. No, it's a musical instrument. You don't do things like that.
Exactly.
No, but I mean, in terms of other guitars, oh God, I've had Fenders, I've had Gibsons, I've had all these big name guitars. Not that bothered.
And would you say that was your favourite one, that Yamaha? Or
Yeah, I think the thing was I was upset that it was broken.
yeah.
Not that I would have necessarily hung on to it.
Well, yeah, because when you sell something or you swap something, you want it to go to a good home.
Yeah. It was a little exchange.
Yeah.
You know, we thought we might try it out for a bit and then swap back or whatever.
Yeah.
He had other ideas.
That's a shame, isn't it?
It's fun.
Have you ever actually recorded anything? Any of your songs that you've written?
I did record some 1 year in Torquay. Just had a little half-day session.
Yeah.
And recorded some stuff. And it was okay. It was a bit rough.
What happened with that?
Nothing.
No, like, what, do you have it? Or
Oh yeah, I've got it somewhere.
I'd like to have a listen to that.
I'm not very big on that stuff, as you know. Oh, lovely. You can breathe again now. I've turned it really loud because I can't hear myself.
We'll mix it over.
No,
Don't do it, Tony.
Ching.
Which one are you going to do, Sean?
A song called Take You Home, which was sort of influenced by John Martin. I love John Martin. First saw John Martin when I was 16. That was another thing that got me into tunings.
Okay.
John Martin, if you don't know, you know John Martin.
Yeah.
But for people that don't know John Martin, absolutely staggering guy he was. He'd come on stage and he'd start playing, and then he'd retune the guitar, and then he'd play, and then he'd retune the guitar again, and he'd retune the guitar like all night to different tunings. Most of them were just unbelievably difficult and impossible, but he just had this ear. So I think that's another way of going to tunings as well. Trying to work out how the hell he did all that. So the words, I've always thought the words at the beginning of this don't really make any sense, but I sort of feel like the way John Martin writes and he does his lyrics are like, it's like another instrument
Okay.
rather than the word
Yeah, yeah.
specifically, because he slurs a lot.
Mm.
And it's like he's using it as, he's got the guitar there and he's got this other thing going on. So I sort of think of that. So it's called Take You Home. Say you're gonna spend the night on my baby. Say you're gonna make love to me, my baby. Who's gonna take you home? I'm gonna be high alone. Gonna take you home. Gonna be high alone. She got the whole world and my baby. You're lover and love, my baby. He's gonna take you home. Gonna be alone. Take you home. Gonna be alone. Baby, when we met, I know I'm gonna be your man. And darling, when we kissed, I know that you understand. Got the whole world, my baby. You're the lover and love, my baby. Gonna take you home. Gonna be alone. Take you home. Gonna be alone.
How would you like to be remembered? Would it be through art, music, or anything else, really?
Friendship. I think, yeah, I don't want to be remembered as a great songwriter, great artist, or anything, any of that. I'm not bothered.
Mm.
Don't really care. If people say he was alright, he was a nice guy, that'll do.